favorite cross country memories. I said I had 3, but I might tangent a bit. I won't be like Caleb. I'm not gonna go like a whole hour, but I think one of the main ones was when Anna, Lisette, and Giselle and I decided that we just weren't gonna finish the run. I don't know. We were coming back from Lake Terrace, and we were like, we've all had those days. You don't want to run the last like little bit, so we were like, oh, we're gonna hop the fence because we thought that was such a smart idea. So Lisette and I hopped the fence, and we were waiting. Anna was like at the top of the fence, like looking down. She must have been up there for like 10 minutes, just like getting the courage to try to like jump down. And then when she finally did, her shorts snagged on the fence, and she just tore her shorts. And she just kind of stood there. We all stood there looking at each other like, oh, well. And then I think the funniest part, though, was Giselle, because Giselle was like getting the courage to go. She was like gonna go. She really was. And then she saw the ditch on the other side, and she was like, oh, I can't do that. And then she just ran off into like the neighborhood. And I've never seen somebody run the neighborhood that fast in my life. She met us on the other side, and she was just complaining. She was like, I can't believe I should have hopped it. And I just like, I don't know, that memory just sticks out to me like all the time. And then maybe the second one would be when Lisette and I did the mission in last year, when we got assigned to some random roadblock with these 2 random kids from like North J. They were like the police program. They were some of the weirdest people I've ever met. They did not talk to us at all. But something was funny about us having to go up to cars and like redirect them. There were so many angry people. I'm not quite sure why. It's not like I could have fixed it. But I think the whole experience was just kind of funny. Just like all the different people you get to meet, and then cheering on people. Like even this year at the Inland Empire, the Mission Inn, it was just nice to like cheer people on. Like it's just fun to cheer people on and see the smiles on their faces. And then for the last 2, I'm gonna keep them short. I think the third one would be when Janai and I were walking at Woodbridge. I'm not gonna go into detail as to why. Janai knows why that was my favorite, but yeah. And then I think at Mountain Camp when we were playing volleyball with like Jacob Hernandez and I, and then Santiago was just watching. But it was just like a nice like kind of moment. It was like dark out, and I don't know. I just think it was like a nice moment, and I look back at it fondly. And then for a favorite race in Invitational, I think performance-wise, my favorite race was the Ram Duels this year. And I'm gonna kind of expose myself here. I think it was because before the Ram Duels, I kind of felt that like I was not running the times I wanted. I feel like coming off the summer practices, running twice a week, and then having volleyball practice, I was like really, really in shape. And then coming back to school, I felt like, I guess, it was a bit disappointing, like on my behalf. Like I felt like I wasn't doing what I should for the team. And then finally breaking under 22 minutes kind of like told me that like, you know, I am doing well, and then I felt like I finally deserved the title of like being the fastest girl on the team. Like I felt beforehand, it was just kind of like, oh, it just happened to be it. Like I didn't feel like I deserved it, and I feel like it made me feel good that I was able to do that for my team, and I think that's why I look back at it so fondly. And then, in looking at factors other than performance, I'd say Dana Hills, because I just think going to the beach after is so fun, and like no matter what I do, I'm shivering a bit, so if I start like stuttering, that's why. But it's just so fun. I'm not crying, I promise. It's just fun to go to the beach and just like bond with it, like one another. I just think it was like a nice time. And like this year, like Lisette and Janai and I just like walked, like we were chasing the fruit man, we couldn't catch him, but we were just kind of sitting like on the like tables like next to all these families cooking, just kind of like loudly exclaiming how hungry we were, waiting for somebody to maybe like slide over a cookie or something. It didn't work, but it was so fun. And I just think Dana is like such a nice race. And then also Inland Empire Challenge, but like last year's course. I think it was just such a beautiful course at Glen Helen, and the pond is like really nice and peaceful. And then what motivates you or inspires you to run? I said my team, and then running itself. I think running is very rewarding if thought of in the right sense. Like when you run and you finish a hard run, it's really rewarding to say, you know, I finished, I pushed through it, and that feeling keeps me going. And also like you guys, like I want to do well for you guys. I think that's why I took races so seriously, because whenever I don't do well, it's not just on me, it's my team. And I want to do well for you guys because I see the dedication and I see how much you guys want to run. Cross country isn't an easy sport, so when people are in it, you know that they're putting their all into it. And I wanted to also prove and show you guys that I'm also doing that as well. And then for my words of wisdom, I said maturity is a virtue. And as a captain this year, I kind of, watching you guys, I saw that maturity was like, the lack of maturity, I guess, was causing a bit of issues. And this isn't an attack on anyone specifically. I think this goes for all of you because you guys are all young. You're all underclassmen. And maturity isn't something that you just get simply with age. It's something you have to work at. And it's hard to walk away from disagreements, or it's hard to, you know, sometimes like think of yourself as an adult, but you guys are getting there. And I think that it's just something that you should like all work and promise yourself that you're gonna work on discipline, you're gonna work at making it easy, because small arguments, tiffs, lack of maturity isn't something that's only hurting yourself, but it's hurting your teammates and it's hurting your coaches. And I think as a team we should work to help our coaches out and help one another out and just be a good team overall. And then for additional messages, I just want to first start by thanking the Hinojosa family and then everybody else who held a pasta night this year, the Lopez family and Ramirez family. It takes a lot, and we see the passion that you all put in and the time that you put in. I just really appreciate having like a nice night like this, especially coming from volleyball, where I feel like we don't really have this like sense of community, and I appreciate the families coming out and actually doing that for us. And I'm gonna keep it short on the things for the coaches, because you guys, I decided to do letters this year for like the actual big event, like when I actually finish, so I can be like actually sentimental. But I just want to thank you all for being here, because I think I speak for us all when we say we see the dedication that you guys have, and not only the team but us as well. You all have come up to us individually to check if we're okay, or make sure. I'm not gonna cry. Sorry, I'm not gonna cry. No, but I see the dedication and the passion that you have, not only for the team but us as individuals, and it's nice to have a support, I think. And then also, I just want to thank you all for being just so sweet this year. And like I said, in runs, like I could talk to any single one of you, even if we're not the closest friends. You guys all had something to say or were just willing to talk, and you guys all worked so hard, no matter if you were injured or if you were sick or you just weren't having a good day. And I want to say that I saw you all, like every single one of you. I saw it, you know, I saw how hard you worked, and I want you guys to feel like you're recognized. And as a captain, I really want to thank you for being a great team. And, you know, let me stop right there, because I'm gonna cry. So how many years have you been on the team? I've been on the year oh my gosh, I've been on the team 2 years. I wish it was a little longer, and I've always said that. It's just a great team. I wish I was here longer, especially with the coaches. How many years have you been on varsity? I've been on them for the 2 years I've been here. What are your plans after college? Hopefully I get accepted to an Ivy League university, but if not, I'm gonna go to UT Austin, because hook 'em Longhorns, yeah, I guess that one. And then I'm gonna study biomedical sciences with a minor in animal science, hopefully. And then will I continue to run? I don't think on a collegiate level I will, but I hope to get the courage or get out of my laziness and like actually run on my own, because it is good for like health and wellness. But
yeah. Not crying. She didn't cry for me. I'm not gonna cry right now. So Giselle, Zipporah, and Lizette. For I think it's the last 2 years, you guys have been hanging out in my room during lunch as like a crew. And usually when kids come into my room, I'm hassling them about their grades, or hassling them about why they didn't come to practice, or hassling them about whatever excuses they have. But for you guys, I'm always coming up to you to make conversation. And for Zipporah, honestly, my favorite memory was we were riding down from Big Bear, and we're in the van, and everyone in the van is all KO'd. Like they couldn't mind to keep a conversation. And you and I got to have like an hour-long conversation. You got to share your life story, and it just felt so special to get to know so much about someone as amazing as you, and throughout the season, the last 2 years, and just as someone who admires you as an individual. I'm very hopeful that you achieve all your dreams, because it looks like you're on your path to greatness. So thank you very much for sharing that with us this year. Thank you, Captain. Thank you.
Zipporah, you demonstrated today one of the things that I admire most about you is you're so mature and you're so well thought out. And then yesterday we're at practice, and everything that you did yesterday just summed up why you're a great captain. And you went out there, and Winter said, I want you to run by this time, you know, you got to finish by 3 minutes, whatever it was. And so you went out there and you finished first. And then, you know, I'm paying attention to everything that's going on and nothing at all. And Giselle says, I don't think Zipporah's doing so well. And she's laying over there against the wall. And I said, are you all right? And she said, I don't feel so good. So we don't have to run this next one. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about practice today. What matters is Wednesday. Wednesday, I need you Wednesday. And then when it was her turn to do another one, she said, I'm going to do it. I'm just not going to run quite as hard. She still finished second of all the girls. She still, I believe you beat the time that he was wanting you to beat for that 800. And, yeah. So she was still right there. Even though she was feeling sick, she still went out there and she worked really hard. She ran back to the school. When we got back to the school, she ran her 2 300s at the time that she was supposed to do it, and you wouldn't know that she was feeling so bad earlier. And you lead by example, and I really appreciate that because everybody gets tired and everybody gets hurt and everybody has problems, but man, you're a leader, and very thankful to have you on the team.
And I'm sorry it happens every time. Like I have so much, thought of like, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, and then I come up here and I black out, and I just, so that's why I always struggle. My vocabulary is not as good as yours, Cora. Thank you for teaching me sanctimonious, and I hope that I learn more words that way one day. When you come back and visit, I'll have better vocabulary. I can start using some words that you don't use. But yeah, like Cora, you were part of my first class ever. Right, that summer before you became a freshman, I taught you for 2 weeks, and I felt so cool. I was like, oh man, these kids don't know anything. I'm teaching math, but now you can probably, take over my class because you definitely know a lot more than me already. But and that was a big reason why I was really hesitant on coaching volleyball. I told you guys already, I can't coach volleyball. I don't know volleyball, but Dr. McCary, the student actually pointed out, Zipporah's on the team, Danica's on the team, and if you don't coach, there won't be a team. Yeah, that's you guys are the only two that I was concerned about. I was like, man, like when I say no, they're not gonna have a volleyball season, and yeah, as painful as it was, and as much as I really wanted to say no, knowing I could help you guys, it didn't make it feel so bad. And I'm glad to have watched you growing over the last couple of years. And the little memories, conversations we've had on the side. Thank you, Zipporah. And I know you're gonna do great things, especially with everything you have going on. Like I don't know how you keep up. Like I took the easy way out. Like, all my classes were not good classes. I took class teachers that probably gave a lot of A's because they were the easiest classes possible. And after football practice, I'll get home, maybe do homework for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then knock out. Like that was my problem. You have cross country, school, all these AP classes, volleyball, and like I don't know how you do it. You're an amazing individual, and I know life after high school is gonna get a lot easier because it's the hard work you've done now has prepared you for life. So thank you, Zipporah.
I have to bring up the meatball incident for Big Bear. I felt like I failed you and I left. That room was smoky and I got out of there, and it was a team effort, but I know Zipporah was left with a lot of just trying to salvage the meatballs, and we all know how that turned out. So it's just like that, that's like her determination to not give up on those inedible meatballs. That just shows who you are. And the next day, I know it was a bad time and you were sick, but you were very sick and you couldn't run. And after that, you were concerned, genuinely concerned about making up that run. Like it wasn't just like I got out of a run because I was sick. You felt really bad about it and you wanted to run more to make up for that. And Hernandez just said how, like, it blows my mind how you're a varsity athlete for volleyball and a varsity athlete for us. And you're a scholar and you take all these AP classes. That's a lot of hard work, and it just shows the kind of person you are. And I really want to see what you do after high school, because it's just one of those moments where it's just like, I'm so proud to know you and just somebody who's just going to do amazing, amazing things.
go. Come on.
I know her. I taught her all she knows.
It's so cold, you guys. It's so cold.
Hey. First I want to say I'm really happy to be here. I remember I was in middle school watching the old teens come to my house, and I watched my older brother give his senior speech, so
Emma 2.0.
the best thing about cross country. I thought you were gonna go. The best thing about cross country is being able to make my parents proud. I still remember the time I told my dad I was gonna do cross country my freshman year, 2 days before school started. He was so dramatic, like always, and he collapsed to the floor with happiness. I've enjoyed seeing the smiles on my parents' faces after a run and having their open arms when I get home at 10 o'clock at night. I've also enjoyed the satisfaction I felt for myself after a run or a race, knowing I've pushed through the pain and done something that not many can do. I don't have a fast metabolism, so I'm glad that cross country has kept me in shape and has allowed me to have confidence in my body. And lastly, the best thing about cross country is the people I met. I met my best friend Anna through cross country, who couldn't be here. My annoying friend Jacob, who follows us around like he's our little brother. My amazing captains Kim, Kylie, and Emma. And I'm also thankful for the memories I made with my close friends Zipporah and Lisette. What are my favorite cross country memories? I have a couple because I've been here a while, but they'll be quick. I really liked the time when me, Anna Lisette, met Leo Young yesterday, last year at CIF. We had just finished our race like 2 minutes before, and but I still got the energy to chase him down and take a picture with him. Anna like always smiles like a half smile smirk, like she'd be like so in the picture I was genuinely happy to see her have like a really wide smile because I knew how happy she was that we took that picture. Another memory is when we were at Bear Camp this year. Me, Jacob, and Zipporah were laughing so hard in the van because we were watching George and Chris play football. And George didn't know how to catch the football. I laughed so hard that I threw up. I really did. And I think the most memorable cross-country memory I have was Woodbridge this year. That day was just an amazing day. I made the hard decision to run at 10 o'clock at night, but I don't regret it because I spent that day with Gabby and the twins, and we were able to just walk around, eat really good food. And then by the time we were ready to race, I had this like really like movie perfect scene. I remember I told my mom about this, but we were walking to the start line and we were a little bit late, so we were like jogging there and it was pitch dark. And this is how I knew this was gonna be a really good race, because like the path to get there was like closed by all trees, and then to get to the start line you have to go through like a little easy up, and then as soon as we hit the start line there's like a flash of lights just goes on you. And I remember running through, I blessed myself, and then the lights hit me, and I knew that was gonna be a really good race. My favorite race in Invitational was Woodbridge from this year and Ramdols, because I ran really fast. I pushed myself until I felt pain, which is not something I've been doing these past 4 years, but this year I told myself that you have to get out of your comfort zone. And I also liked the Inland Empire Challenge because I got 4th place. What is my motivation to run? My motivation to run is my family, and more specifically my dad. During my sophomore year, when COVID caused us to do distance learning, sorry. dad went to the hospital, and I didn't think he was gonna make it because he had got pneumonia. But thanks to God, he was able to come home, and I took him on walks, and I fed him, and I just took care of him until he could get